Another month has gone by, which not only means the start of a brand new year, but it also means it's time to revisit the next generation of NBA talent with another mock draft. Here on the channel, I publish a mock draft every month leading up to the main event, because I feel that it's important to monitor the status of these prospects all the way through the season, to see who rises through the ranks, who falls off after initial hype, and who solidifies themselves as legitimate lottery talent. I'll be going through the top 10 picks for this mock draft, and the order in which the teams will be selecting today is based on the current NBA standings. Before we start though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting things off with the first pick in the draft, the Detroit Pistons select Victor Wembanyama from France. The Pistons are leading the race for the top pick at the current moment, and if there was ever a year to tank, this would be it, because Wembanyama is one of the most unique and tantalizing prospects we have ever seen. He's been the top-ranked prospect in this class throughout the entire process, and if I'm being completely honest, there probably isn't much that can be done to change that, because this combination of size, skill, length, and instincts on the basketball court would make him the top prospect in most drafts throughout recent history. He's a potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate who can stretch the floor comfortably out to the three-point line, finish strong at the basket, and create off the dribble, and the Pistons would absolutely relish the opportunity to take him here. Next, with the second pick in the draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Scoot Henderson from G League Ignite. Wembanyama may get most of the attention at the top, but you would be foolish to think this draft was a one-man show. Scoot Henderson is now playing his second season in the G League as an 18-year-old, so the experience he will be entering the NBA with as a teenager is at a level that no other prospect has ever had. Not only does he look comfortable playing against the grown men that he's competing against, but he is genuinely dominating by averaging about 20 points per game, shooting the ball 53% from the field. Henderson is the kind of guard who plays in non-stop attack mode, and his combination of size and explosiveness make him a tough cover for anyone. He is an outstanding finisher at the rim, and if you're not careful while guarding him, you may end up on a poster. His pull-up jumper has shown a lot of progress as well. He's taking noticeable strides as a facilitator, and if the Hornets were able to get him here, the pairing of LaMelo Ball and Scoot Henderson would make for an incredible backcourt to build around for the future. Next, with the third pick, the Houston Rockets select Cason Thompson from Overtime Elite. Missing out on the top two of this draft class will probably leave a sour taste in the mouth of whoever lands at 3, which at the current moment is the Rockets, but Cason Thompson is a sneaky talent with outrageous upside. If we're being honest, the Rockets' biggest need right now is probably the point guard position, because despite trying to mold Kevin Porter Jr. into one, he just isn't a floor general by nature. Cason Thompson not only commands the floor as a lead ball handler with terrific court vision and playmaking instincts, but he also just so happens to be the most gifted athlete in this draft class. He's a bouncy athlete who creates highlights to wow crowds on a regular basis, throwing down dunks at the basket, and on top of all of that, he's also 6'7", so he's got good ideal size, he has the feel for the game, and he has the physical tools to dominate. Next, with the fourth pick, the San Antonio Spurs select Nick Smith Jr. from Arkansas. Smith is probably where the next tier of talent begins, but if I'm being honest, he's not as locked into the top 5 as he was when the season began. I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt because of his natural talent, but he hasn't necessarily been producing at the level expected of him on a consistent basis. He's another point guard with a great feel for the game and ideal physical tools to make it at the NBA level, and in this specific case, I would love his fit on the Spurs, because they not only do a tremendous job developing their players, but they also are in major need of a point guard going into next season. Smith is someone I still believe will pick it up as the season progresses, and could be a guy that wows in March Madness, but if he continues with his streaky ways, he is at risk of slipping a little bit. Next, with the fifth pick, the Orlando Magic select Brandon Miller from Alabama. Miller was someone who flew up draft boards and mock drafts early on in the season, and in my last mock draft I said that he was obviously very impressive, but we need to see if his shooting is for real or not. Well, a month later, he's still shooting 44% from 3 while taking 7 threes per game, so needless to say, he's proving to be the real deal in that regard so far. He fits the bill as a wing player in today's NBA, not only because of his shooting prowess, but also defensively he's versatile, he knows where to be defending on and off the ball, he blocks shots, and he causes havoc. Next up, with the 6th pick, the Orlando Magic are up again because they own the Bulls pick, and with it, they select Cam Whitmore from Villanova. The Magic have stocked up on guards over the last few years, and they also have a solid rotation of big men at their disposal, so now it's time for them to solidify their wings, and bringing in both Miller and Whitmore would be a home run of a day for them. Whitmore is an overwhelmingly powerful athlete who uses his strength to his advantage to bully smaller defenders and get to the basket, and defensively, he's a typically stout Villanova product. The one thing that will determine how high his ceiling is will be his jumper, because right now he's shooting it at a subpar mark from deep, but he's shown flashes of being able to heat up from out there. Next, with the 7th pick, the Toronto Raptors select Ausar Thompson from Overtime Elite. His brother is a top 5 prospect in the class, but Ausar is right behind him as a top talent as well. Compared to his brother, who is more of a point guard, Ausar is more of a scorer by nature, who is equally as impressive of an athlete, and with similar size and physical tools, he's also capable of wowing crowds with his explosiveness. This season, he's been much more confident as a spot-up shooter, and as he continues to find his groove there, he'll develop into a solid two-way guard. The Raptors are another team that develops talent extremely well, and they specifically love size and length, so this to me is a very good match. Up next, with the 8th pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Cason Wallace from Kentucky. Another point guard in this class, Wallace is much more of a steady and reliable talent who may not be the flashiest player in the world, but he's a tough competitor who plays efficiently and does what needs to be done to win basketball games. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the class on top of that, who can lock down opposing guards and generate turnovers, as he's averaging over 2 steals per game this season, so all in all, he's one of the most well-rounded players available this year. Next, with the 9th pick, the New Orleans Pelicans, who own the Lakers pick, select Anthony Black from Arkansas. Black is a point forward with the size and versatility you want in a wing player, but the skill, ball handling, and playmaking potential of a lead guard. He's a sneaky quick player for his size, and while he may not be the most explosive athlete, he's more of a skill-based player who smartly gets to his spots and doesn't necessarily try to force things. He's the kind of player that is good at a lot of things without necessarily being great at any one specific thing, so while his ceiling might be limited, he has a very high floor and will definitely help in an NBA rotation. And finally, with the 10th pick, the Washington Wizards select Keyonte George from Baylor. George is a pure scorer in every sense, and when he has the ball in his hands, he's looking to get a bucket. He has good size for a 2-guard, he's a smooth athlete, and he can fill it up in a hurry. As does tend to be the case with volume scorers, his efficiency isn't quite where you would ideally like it to be, but he's a tough shot maker, and is the furthest thing from a liability on defense, so the growing pains will be worth it when he blossoms into a reliable scoring threat at the next level. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below who you're hoping your favorite team drafts this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.